Hello, I'm Bianca. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Beauty Playground, where beauty is just as much about having fun as it is about looking good. Here we experiment, we play with makeup, we play with looks. Today's experiment was trying to get this AI Ralph Lauren old money look, and I think we did it. So I made a tutorial, but before that, this is my first video up on YouTube after maybe a 2-year hiatus. So it would mean the world to me if you can subscribe. Okay, we're gonna start by prepping everything. We are prepping our skin and we are also prepping our lips. For skin prep, I use MAC Hyperreal Ceramizer and Skin Canvas Balm. These are just things that I have tried and tested and it has never failed me. This ceramizer just makes your skin glow and keeps it super moisturized, while this Skin Canvas Balm just makes it the perfect canvas. It's so easy to apply makeup on top of it. It makes it stay longer. So put it on my lips, and that is my first layer of plumping. We're not stopping there, of course. This is the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. This actually hurts a little bit, but it really makes your lips super plump, which is absolutely needed for this kind of look. The base is the most important and is key to this look, but we are going to start with brows because we don't want to ruin anything on our faces. We're going to start with brows, we're going to go to the eyes, and that's our method today. Their brows are super filled in, and for some reason it looks almost blocky, but still natural. Starting with making my brows look fluffier, which means adding hairs to the front part of the brow. I am using the Mighty Fine Brow Pen, and I'm just going to create little strokes. I'm gonna come closer to the camera so you can see, and I'm just going to flick this up like this and see how it makes brow hairs that look so natural. It's actually crazy. And then I'm going to go in with my Precisely My Brow pencil, and I am going to create a line here at the bottom to create that like shape. And I'm also going to create a line up top, but I'm not going to touch the front of the brows. I am just going to go here, and this is basically creating the initial shape of the brows. I'm using the shade number 3 just because this is a little lighter than my brows, so if I go a little too hard in it, it is not going to look crazy, but they do have like really blocky brows. To remove the harsh line over here, we are just going to brush it out. We're also going above the brow. I'm going in with the Sunny's Face Brow Gel. I really love this brow gel. It makes your hairs super groomed without looking too stiff. Brow look sorted, we are going in with the eyes. And I'm just going to prep using this Urban Decay eyeshadow base or eyeshadow primer. This is what it looks like. We just want a nice even canvas because while we're not going to put any foundation here, we still want a clean and clear base because we are aiming for perfection. An AI generated image. They have really beautiful almond eyes in a light wash of brown, but it's also very smoky, which is for me the hardest to achieve. I just don't think it suits my Asian features so much, but this is what the look calls for. MAC Amber x9 palette. I've had this for the longest time, but it is the only palette that has the perfect browns for me. I am just going in and creating my initial cat eye shape, and then I'm going to do the shading underneath. Great thing about doing your eyeshadow before foundation, concealer, and all of these things is that it is so easy to edit things when things aren't looking perfect. I'm just using the same shade, by the way. This one, defining that cat eye shape. Their eyeliner is super defined, but is strictly on the waterline. We're just lining it here. Taking this darker brown, we are creating an eyeliner look using this dark brown eyeshadow. I really love using eyeshadow as liner first before anything because it's easier to manipulate. That way you don't have to do your entire eye look again in case something goes wrong, which happens to me all the time. Okay, we're also going to do a little bit on that inner corner just to connect the eyes and make it look more cohesive. I feel like when you don't do this, your eye just looks a little bit weird. Like it looks definitely shadowed, which it is, but it just doesn't look as cohesive, I would say. Okay, now we're gonna smoke it out. So I'm just taking that and using the same brush as we did when we were doing our base, but this time with a hint of that dark brown. Now we're going to tightline again, but slightly outside of the waterline. You're going to want to start at the tear duct and work your way through your lashes up to the very end. This creates that eyeliner look without having to struggle with a liquid liner, and it is going to seep through your eyelashes naturally. I'm using the Koji eyelash curler so I could really get in there, and their lashes aren't anything crazy. I'm just going to be using mascara today. I usually go in with falsies, but that is not the look. I'm using this skinned mascara. I find that this really lengthens my lashes like crazy. I'm just going to show you. Make sure when you're doing your lashes, you're just flicking it up. Like you don't need to wiggle it in. If you're really using and you're really after length and you're using a lengthening mascara, just like flick it up like this. And you'll see that the fibers just start building on. I am not so concerned about curl. That is a different look and a different mascara. We are just focusing on length. The lower lashes are also highlighted. We want everything to look super perfect. I am using the Tarte Shape Tape in Creamy. This is their ultra creamy concealer, and I just find that it doesn't dry out the same way as the Shape Tape does, but the coverage is great. It's easy to blend onto all areas of your face, and I'm just going to go over any and all imperfections that I have. They have a very even base. Nothing is highlighted or anything. It looks like they really underpainted and made sure that everything was taken care of before they did their foundation, which is just a light layer on top of it, and that's what gives the illusion of a no makeup, but it's still a full glam kind of makeup. Blend this, I'm just using a beauty blender, trying to not displace much of it and just really trying to cover anything that I do not want to show. I usually love my broken capillaries over here. I just feel like it brings life back into my face. Like it doesn't look like I went too crazy with the foundation, but it is not allowed today. I feel like for some reason I am starting to look like an AI robot. While we're letting that cook, we are going to be underpainting the cheeks. So if you look at the AI generated photos, they all have the same cheek contour vibe. It is a very, very, very intensely contoured cheek. You are contouring this entire area, and then there's bronzer on top. They don't really use blush. You're going in with two products today. This I'm going to be using as more of a contour. This I am using as more of a bronzer. They have different color profiles. I find that this is a bit darker and cool. I know it looks like it's just a bronzer, but trust me, it is so different. I'm going to start with the contour, and they actually go up to here, which is super crazy to me because I never ever go there, but here we are. If you want to use a more cool tone contour, that is up to you, but I just prefer warmer tones, so I just tend to go with a darker bronzer for contour. I am going a little heavier on this area for contour so that there's like a gradient to it, which looks so much more natural and better. I am not being too precise here because it is an underpainting. We are putting foundation over it, and it is going to be a lot more blended and natural looking once you already put the foundation on top. I'm also contouring under the jaw. You want to make sure that you're contouring underneath it and not over, because that's just going to make you look like you have a beard. So don't do that. But we are also going to shape the forehead a little bit. I just feel like this makes your face look smaller in general, and it is also the area that the light hits the most. I'm going in with the Chanel Le Beige, and I'm just going to tap that on top. Not going super high up the cheekbones because we're not actually going to highlight there or anything. We are just blending that bronzer. So I'm using the Airbrush Flawless foundation by Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to mix it with the Hollywood Flawless filter. I bounce back between tan and pale throughout the year, so it's just more economical for me to be buying one shade of concealer that is my lightest-ish. This is number 3 neutral, and then I just use this, which I absolutely love mixing with this regardless. This is a 6.5 deep, and I mix it with my foundation depending on how tan I think I am. I think because sometimes I think I'm tanner than I actually am. I'm also adding a little bit of the serumizer here just to sheer this out a bit, because we did underpaint and we don't want to paint over everything. We just want a sheer wash. We're trying to get as close as we can. I also like shearing it out like this so that when I use my beauty blender, I know that it doesn't pick up just like a stripe of it. That is the worst. You want the entire surface to be sort of well covered with an even layer of product. And I'm just going to start here. I think that is a good skin match. And I am going to be sort of painting around the underpaint first before layering. Could go over it as well. It really depends on you. I'm trying to keep that a little bit, but let's see what it looks like if you just add a tiny bit. Okay. That actually makes it look a lot more natural, but the contour did disappear a little bit. But it's okay, we are adding powder on top. There are generations of AI. I think there are AI generated images that look very cartoon-like, and then there are ones that look very hyper-realistic, which is crazy. I feel like I look like the cartoon one. We are going to set this with the Airbrush Flawless setting spray before we powder things up. While we're waiting for that to set, I'm going to go in and start with the lips. This is my tiny Makeup Forever lip liner. I'm slightly overlining, but not too much. I feel like if I overline this corner area, my lips look insane. So I go from here and then I blend it downwards. I feel like you can have a little bit more of an overline in this area, but not too much here. We are going to get back to that. First, I'm using, this is the Terracotta Light powder by Guerlain. I love that this has a mix of the tans, the light tans, the pretty pink sparkly things. This just ensures a light tan all over. Now, for the sharper contour. I know this is a lot of contour, but let's just see where it takes us. This is a vintage Estee Lauder collaboration with Victoria Beckham. This is even before Victoria Beckham got her own line, but this is such a beautiful contour. I feel like it's the perfect contour for my skin tone, and it just works like a charm. They have very contoured straight noses, and we just need to blend this out. Last bronze, I promise. This is the Guerlain Terracotta, and I'm just bronzing the top of my cheekbones like so. Now for the lips, again, I'm going with another layer of lipstick. This is the Pillow Talk Medium, and then we're going to top it with Hourglass Phantom Volume Lip Gloss. This is Slip. Okay, I feel like now that everything is contoured, the brows needs a bit of darkening, so we're gonna do that again. This is just precisely my brow, but in a deeper shade. This is shade number 4. I was afraid to go overboard and use shade number 3, but now I think the look calls for a stronger brow. What I love about doing your makeup is that sometimes it really is a process because you edit things along the way. I'm going to brush this out a little bit not to erase the color or the pigment, but just to like soften it a little bit. Okay, hang on. This is Lily. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'll be answering all of your questions and try to give more tips down there. And if you like this, it will mean the world to me if you like this video and subscribed. Hope to see you again soon. Bye!